So there's that. Ooh, are we not controlling? That's what we need to be doing.
I'll try not to die.
There we
She's
go.
not gonna die. She's not gonna die. Nim is too smart to die.
Yeah.
One would hope.
And
Nim is too smart.
transition.
But I don't. I think it's like cockroach rules, where it's like, yeah, I should die, but it won't. You know.
Welcome.
We saw the first meme.
Yeah. Welcome to the
Oh, yeah, are we
seers
live?
of the first
live.
meme. Yeah,
We're
we're currently live. Seers of the first
No.
meme. Cosmos Candela is back.
Wait, is that our group name now?
The seers of the first meme.
Seers of the first meme.
No, your kooky cosmonauts. Quasi's actually from the future sent me a cease and desist because this is a prophetic actual play.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, but welcome back, my kooky cosmonauts. Say hello to everyone.
Hello to everyone.
Howdy.
Back at it again.
Back at it again. And we left on such a chipper. No, now, unfortunately, we don't have our lovely Tery Bite. They have been traveling, as you the kidnappers have not allowed them to have live communication proof of life with us this time. But they should be back next week.
Which, just for the record, this is a joke.
This is a joke. They just were doing it from what looked like a bathroom while they were traveling, and it was very
They didn't have to escape or anything.
Yeah, they're fine. I assume. But last time we ended on such a positive note with everything. It was just super chill vibes, and then we did a cutaway, and everyone found out that all of their personal relationships and emotions would be held intact. But in reality, for the characters, is a little bit of a recap. There's more discussion, a little bit more interaction with Phil Landry, more discussion about things, some backtracing on Terry's phone to find out what ransom needs to be obtained to get back Alexander, which turned out to be 1,000 pints of blood and an organ printer, which is not what anyone was expecting.
It's actually quite factual.
Nim spent a time in the scramble box where they did some investigation, reply, and experiential stuff.
Good.
And then and found out that it was like a future Iron Maiden minus the spikes. But cozy, just a little bit coffiny.
It does smell like eggs.
And it does when it releases, not until that time, but when it releases and does that bus hydraulic noise when it door opens, like eggs. A gentle egg smell comes out.
Which is interesting.
I don't like the statement "gentle egg smell."
Gentle egg smell.
They don't go. Those words don't go together, and it makes me sad.
No.
Unbeknownst to
Gentle egg smell is the name of my Primus cover band.
There you go. Unbeknownst to Tery, Kilo and Tery had a bonding moment from Kilo's end, as there was some connective tissue there from where Terry's emotionally at and where Kilo's been living for a long time. Eddie got a call for a job that is just to help out with the ransom from a third-party broker. We got to briefly be introduced to Terry's.
We can't get anyone to do our dirty work for us.
Yeah,
we have to do everything.
Yeah, I know, right? Right.
It's a small station. Everybody knows everybody.
There's some sort of classic phrase I could say here that's usually related to political discourse, but I am tired and cannot remember it. However, so all of that is bound to happen, but it can't happen immediately, and all of you have lives to get to. Our boy Izzy has some siblings and household to watch over. Eddie has to help out a friend. Nim has to figure out what Nim is hole up in under the quasars doing the admin work because they're worried that they're about what their former employer is going to do with them. And Kilo has to go and clock in for shift with Tery in tow.
Duty never sleeps.
The trash never stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trash keeps
So,
coming.
I'd love to start off this session with a d6 roll, everyone, please.
Oh, no.
And tell me your result.
Okay.
So 1 from Eddie, 4 from Nim, 3 from Izzy, 4 from Kilo. Nim and Kilo, please roll again. It's a roll-off.
Oh, boy.
Or as Critical Role calls it, was it rollsies?
Rollies.
Rollies. 3 and a 6.
Rollies in
All
the
right.
sky. Wave them side to side.
Nim. Now, I'm going to ask the group for this because I jokingly floated this out.
Oh, boy.
But I'm going to ask the group for this. Nim, you are there in the soon-to-be former secret location of this chapter of the organization until you
But we still get free pizza.
move it.
Don't
You
worry.
still get free pizza.
The backup location.
The backup, the backup location in case new location gets compromised, but after this location is probably compromised. Nim,
back and forth
this is going to create a fair amount of pressure on you and trust in the group. But I think it would be funny if the person who stays to actually do the work gets to make a few broad group
Executive decisions.
So I get punished. I get punished for going to my job.
Blue collar work? Yes, you do.
Yep.
Yes, you do. Welcome to capitalism now and forever.
Welcome to the working adult life. You
Yeah.
have to work. You don't get to do the fun thing.
No, I know. This is supposed to let me escape.
Nim is on fun employment right now, even though her work doesn't know. But Nim, so I believe we discussed, and I believe it was affirmed. Nim, as you're looking through the index cards that Philandry left and Graham kind of laid out for you, and Eddie and Izzy had already taken a look through before they left and everything like that.
Right.
And that, what location for the new organization or for the new space do you think the group should move to? And this one's a little easier because we had a discussion beforehand. But you can override that because you're in charge. You set Graham and Mark to task, and they're gonna do it.
Mark. Ugh.
I will say the one that's kind of off limits right now is Terry's condo because the player isn't here.
No, yeah.
But also,
No,
I
yeah.
wouldn't want to invade Terry's space permanently.
To a degree, it's a shared space. That's not necessarily the most. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Struggling to find it.
But yeah.
The one that stuck out the most to me, that I think would be useful and fun and have lots of opportunities for giggles, is the blimp one.
The blimp, the advertising.
I do think the blimp is very fun. I think the opportunities for us making jokes on what the advertisement of the week is would be just delicious.
It gives a lot of opportunities. So to describe these blimps, these are very much.
I don't think we can blame Nim for going, ooh, a bird's eye view.
Exactly. It makes sense.
Oh, you took me joke.
I have to, because someone else will say it, and then I'll sit there and be sad.
So as you analyze the blimp, there's some benefits to the blimp. Number one, it is mobile. Number two, it is a plain sight background noise. A kind of a perfect location of nobody looks at the blimp other than high people and young people, and it's like, I wonder what's inside that blimp. They just assume that there's some operator doing the thing, and then they don't even give it that much thought because it is a permanent fixture. Just as unless something puts it in front of your face, you don't really think about the people that replace, billboard signs and things like that.
Yeah, it's just the future's billboard. Like, how much do you really think about the billboard when you see it?
But
you zone that shit out.
So it is mobile. It does have the ability to communicate images out to the public, which may or may not be useful in the future. It is something that nobody has really thought of, including probably all of you, until it was presented to you as an option. That, like, wait, those are big enough to fit a pretty significant amount of space inside of them.
I didn't know blimps existed on the
on
the space station until you said that. I'm like, oh, now I
Yeah.
can see
So,
blimps in the station.
advertising blimps in big open areas. When I express to you that the visual aesthetic of these blimps is if someone did the absolute least they possibly could to futurize a Goodyear blimp, I mean it. It looks like a blimp.
Yeah.
It is not lifted
That's
aloft
so
by
us.
helium, so it is hollow on the inside. It is purely aesthetic reasons that it is shaped that way and looks that way.
It's nostalgic.
It's
It's
nostalgic.
a nostalgic look.
It even has little cute propellers on the back of it that spin but are not in any way actually propulsing this thing. It's quite heavy
Amazing.
by the nature of something that's aloft in the air, but with modern technology of anti-gravity and different like fusion and pulse energies, it's not really a problem to kind of keep it up and running. The instructions for how to access the blimp are in the database. And Grem lines you up, Nim, with said database and a pad device. And you now realize that you have to do your favorite job. You're onboarding to the organization, which means you need to register for a lot of different software tools so that you have a profile in them. Profile in them. And the hard stop, the thing that you simply must fill in, you see the little asterisks on the field. It is required, and if you try to click next, it will give you a little error and highlight the thing and say, please fill in required field. Is you need to name the chapter. Nim, none of the rest of the group are around here. None of the things are there. You need to name the chapter. Now, before you name the chapter, I would love for you to roll me a d6. And this is going to be, it's not even just a d6. It is specifically, Nim, it is a read roll.
Let me pull up Demiplane.
Demiplane. Well, you're pulling up Demiplane.
Hey, Demiplane.
Speaking of pulling up Demiplane, Cosmos Candela loves to pull up on Demiplane and see what it's doing when it's out and about. We in our 1970s convertible that we can all fit in because it's the size of a house.
But then we slow down.
We definitely slow down. We pace. We don't
just
catcall. We don't catcall.
We are scrubs.
It's respectful.
But yeah, we do hang out the side.
We stop the car. We get out of
ride.
the. We walk around. We open the passenger seat. We wait for
Demiplane to come in, and just by happenstance, Demiplane has a big stack of TTRPG gaming material.
Oh my god, do they really?
Yeah, they do.
That's crazy. Wow.
Popular games like Candela Obscura from
that's the game
we're playing.
That's the game we're playing.
Yeah, right
now.
Oh my gosh.
Character builders.
What a coincidence.
Character builders.
Yeah.
You mean
I love, you know what?
Yeah.
I love building characters.
I also love building characters, and you can build as many characters you want on
as
Demiplane.
Many. Hold on, wait a second.
As many as you want, without all that.
As many as I want.
Here's what's wild.
Don't give me that kind of power, Demiplane.
Here's what's wild. Demiplane says, "Hey, these books that these books that I picked up for you that you purchased, you can share them with up to 24 other people."
24 people. Wow.
Wait. 24 people. Who has that many friends?
You know who has that many friends? Demiplane does.
Demiplane does.
Because that's just the kind of person that Demiplane is.
Demiplane's the popular girl at school.
Mm-hmm.
Demiplane needs multiple accounts because she just is so loved.
So busy.
So
busy.
Check out Demiplane. You can find it there. This actual play is in no way sponsored by it, but does use its tools.
Yet.
One day.
Just saying, Demi
Yes.
playing.
Is there a podcast / actual play D&D or tabletop thing award for most thirstily chasing down one particular sponsor?
Listen,
Because if there was,
Ivy,
I know what I want, and it's Demi play.
Hey,
I don't need a category to fill that category.
Game Raider girl, Ivy. If you're watching this, set it up in the Crit Awards.
yeah,
Ivy, my girl.
I'll submit it and tag them on social media, being like, "Hey, Crit Awards, most thirsty with no chance,
Thirstiest safety,
thirsty to no chance ratio, most disproportionate."
Listen,
campaign for sponsorship.
Maybe they'll notice us.
But
the love is real.
We win.
Okay.
If we win.
What did you get on your read roll dice, Nim?
I did get a 5.
All right,
Ooh.
that's a pretty high success.
Tasty.
I did get a toasty 5.
I am going to give Abby some relief here.
Thank the Lord on high.
Each of you may submit in real time two suggestions.
Two.
And Nim has the choice whether to use those or ignore them for what the organization is called. And these can I'm going to remind you, it can be very silly, obviously, but this is also a horror campaign, and I will have to eventually have recurring villainous characters and monsters and creepy things say your organization's name. So do remember that in the narrative. I'm not trying to persuade you one way or the other, but think about how you want that to vibe. If you want it to vibe as Fully Breaking, I'm here for it. If you want it to stay in, I'm here for it. But I am going to sit back and not make any recommendations. And I choose... I'll let you all pick amongst yourselves on who goes out, but each of you gets 2 recommendations to give to Nim. You can say them. I would prefer them verbalized, but you can also, of course, DM Abby.
Right.
I'm gonna do both, so I won't forget.
That is also valid.
The Forgotten Chapter.
Forgotten Chapter. That's a good one. That's solid. That's solid.
Ooh.
Oh wait, so are we not doing Circle of? We're just naming names?
No, naming names.
Oh, okay.
Circle of, though, you can do Circle of, and it can be called the Circle of the Forgotten Chapter, right? And it'd just be called the Forgotten Chapter, because if something was that long, no one would use the word circle. Everyone would just use the shortened name. Or CFC. If they wanted to acronym it, but yeah. So one from Will, the Forgotten Chapter. Any others? No suggestions are too bad. And if we really don't like it, it's not like I'm a mean GM and not gonna let you change it if you decide to change it in the future. But for a little bit, you'll have to stick with it.
We can even role play going back to the drawing board on that one. Like, listen, we gotta rethink our whole image.
Literally a chalkboard going, no.
Intake. Izzy, Nim, Terry, Eddie, Kilo.
In tech, it's just your names, your first initials. You know, if you wanted your cover to be some sort of
like we show up and it's like, oh no, we're in tech. Like that's our cover.
Make it mean something completely.
If you wanted to be an app startup.
My old company was called Truick, which stood for the Really Useful Information Company. The acronyms can really hide a stupid name. Oh, yeah. So well.
Because Truick sounds like a company name. And when you find out it's under the hood. But yeah, in tech, that's a good suggestion. Any other recommendations?
Circle of the Cosmic Knife.
I don't know.
Circle of the Cosmic Knife. Will coming in with these heady terms. Forgotten Chapter, Cosmic Knife.
I'm not going to lie. Circle of the Cosmic Knife, I did specifically for the acronym.
Circle of the...
Yeah.
No. We're not going to be called that. No. I veto that. No.
I can be silly too, motherfuckers,
no.
Okay?
I was like, where is he getting this from? And then I wrote it out, and I'm like, you mother...
Excuse me. I believe the proper modern puns is got him.
But yeah. Oh, and then you'd have one chair specifically in the blimp. Just the one chair to be very internet. Any other recommendations? So we've got Intech. We've got Forgotten Chapter and the vetoed Circle of the Cosmic Knife.
Vetoed already. Already out of the running. Vetoed.
I think that's fair. Obviously, if any of you are like, "That's a good joke. I don't want it long term,"
No,
is a fair
it's
thing.
very silly. I cannot.
Any other recommendations? There are no wrong answers.
No.
Mm.
I'm too indecisive and I'm too tired to cook properly. So I'm just listening.
Okay, I'm gonna give you all. So I'm gonna give you prompts, Kelly.
Why? No, I'm okay with picking from what other people are saying. I don't need to. Oh,
we're gonna prompt because this is how things happen in TTRPGs and also on name generators. Name of a beloved pet that you've had in your life, whether it's your own pet or a pet that you just really liked the name of.
Rascal.
Rascal.
Cute.
Preferred or let's go with name of and it's not necessarily going to be this, but name of like a beloved, formative and non-problematic in the modern times childhood franchise.
Oh. I don't know.
Your red
Digimon.
So one could go on a spin on that and be like Monstrous Rascals. One could go on a spin on that and be like Digital Rascals, or one could
digital.
Going digital.
Did you
Digiras
and Digirasks, which is just gonna read like Digirac, if it's a merge, if it's a portmanteau, but there are things like that. We got Intech, we got Faded. Nim, you're the administrator. You can also just name it something.
Yeah.
What's the point of our group again? Like the organization in general?
So the organization's in general motive is that there are various power brokers in the station that all have inherent bias for the needs of their own are inherent bias toward their own needs, right? So even the most logical, most kind, most egalitarian government obviously would wish to maintain its governance, sometimes to the detriment of the population of the station, and make choices that may not be necessarily agreed to. And then, which, to be clear, Velis does not have that kind of government. It is not the most kind version of governance. But any kind of organization has those sorts of biases. So the organization is a anarchic, loose gathering of chapters that has no real like what am I thinking of, structure of power, like framework of governance beside the individual chapters themselves. And so it is, and its entire mission is like-minded people that are like, we need to do what's best for the population of the station. And their guiding truism beliefs on that are: information should be free and available, regardless of how upsetting it may or may not be. Information should be free or available, like accurate information, should be accessible to the public. That no matter how they dress it up, the system is still classist, and the system still tends to be cast and structured by region, and that powerful organizations are probably constantly lying to you for their own gains. And therefore, based off the first caveat, it is their duty to uncover those regardless of where the truth leaves them. They are not, as far as they have claimed to you, they are not tied to any government or organization or private corporation. It is a loose organization that is quietly funding itself, extra legal and not registered anywhere in Velis.
Okay.
Kelly?
If we are conducting our faction of the organization from the air, maybe the Nimbus Protocol?
Ooh, the Nimbus Protocol.
See, and I will say there is a reason that I went with Forgotten Chapter, is because the event that brought us all together got mind wiped from everybody.
That is true. That is true. Nimbus Protocol. Perhaps I will just name that the category of the first arc of the first 10 episodes is the Forgotten Chapter, if we do not choose that. But it is not our choice. It is Abby's choice. Abby.
This is what suffering for your choices looks like, people.
This is your consequence for staying and
you
doing
make a decision and then you suffer for it, but it's good for you.
I'm confident no one's feelings will be hurt based off your choice if you choose any one person's or if you choose none of them. And
follow your heart, buddy. It'll be great.
I do like playing off the idea that Will did have for the Forgotten Chapter, but instead of being forgotten, maybe more focused on like the word recollection, like remembering.
So
it's not so much that everything that
the
we
drive
anything,
of what
we
you
remember.
that you all remember.
But we remember what we have remembered. We remember all the problems, remember all the truths.
Okay, so we got memory. Don't worry, I won't let this drag
on. Be a total recall.
I don't know if we. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate the idea of just calling the chapter after the movie and book Total Recall. Not the remake, but the Schwarzenegger movie and the book. The remake was fine. It's a fine movie.
Story that you're talking about.
I would say you have to watch it, but I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do. I don't know if you do. I don't know if it'll connect.
That's my second word. For the recollection.
What?
The recollection. What about playing with the word archive?
The recollective. Recollection and collective. The recollective.
The recollective.
Is that anything? The recollective, combining recollection and collective.
I love a portmanteau. But
Forgotten Archive.
The what archive?
Forgotten Archive.
Or perhaps
I do love.
Okay, go on.
Sounds cool.
This is
the Lost Archive.
Reminds me a bit of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
We can put so much on a shirt.
Wait. What about the archivists?
I don't know if that fits us.
Yeah, you're more investigators of the current, although you are uncovering some things that are past, but it's related to more current things. I don't. But like,
I like the Recollector. That was a nice portmanteau.
Recollector.
Well, I did recollective just because it combines recollection and collective.
Yeah. Oh, then we could be recollectors.
We could.
I love that.
Okay, so there's a lot of love for that. There's a lot of love for archive. There's a lot of love for lost and finding things.
Or Intech.
Cosmic Knife, sadly off the table. Will. I'm so sorry.
I knew it was gonna be as soon as I fessed up to my reasoning.
I would have not noticed that for
if you would have just kept it that without.
I would have always just called it Cosmic Knife and been like, "What are you talking about?"
5 more episodes, and what the fuck?
Like, so someone spells it out as an acronym and then just goes like, "Will."
Wait a minute.
Will, how dare you?
The show pops off. We start making merch, and it's just people with,
horrid.
A decision must be made.
Pondering.
I've got an idea.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's cooking.
I think this is the right use of this word.
Oh, he's cooking. He's sauteing. He's pan-frying.
Abby, he tricked you. He said it was your choice. It's not.
It is your choice.
That is fine. I eat lies for breakfast. It's amazing. It's very healthy. Great way to start the day. Bowl full of lies.
Yum. Yummo.
Delicious.
Yummo.
Yummo.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I have a thought, but I'm not going to say it because it's not my job to. I just have a thought.
No, have the thought. Have the thought. I was just teasing you. I was teasing you. Give the thought.
Okay. Other words that relate to sort of memory and everything that might kind of associate with it, but not necessarily nail it on the nose, is the word flashback. Is of course a memory or a recall, and recollective. So having it be something like the flash recollective, which would be in the same sort of vein, but there also the word cognizance or cognate or cognizance or cognate gives you a nice little cog if you want to do that. You also could go so alliterative because recollective could be like the recapture recollective. The you could go really like interior wrapper lines and call it the reflective recollective. There's a lot of syllables.
We're not cool. We're not cool enough for that.
Recollective.
We're not cool enough for that.
We can only do that if MF Doom joins our group.
You need to have proper respect for the recollective. We are very progressive.
Also, words like reminisce, retention, all of these, of course, again, in that very big, wide word, retrospective recollective or retro recollective, if you want to go into that.
We are the retro.
And my only suggestion I'm really going to offer to help narrow it down is the blimp buddies. You could just be the blimp buddies.
That's the most easiest thing you said.
I say Nimbus Protocol, and it's a no. But if any of y'all go for the blimp buddies, I will fight you.
I like Nimbus Protocol a lot better than the blimp buddies. I'm gonna
choose
say
a random street in the city in the country of America and be like, we're gonna fight here.
Blimping ain't easy. It's
I hate it. I hate everything.
Here's the story of an organization.
No.
We're the Blimpy Bunch.
Blimpy
Bunch.
Tough out here for a blimp.
Oh no. Okay, I've immediately vetoed my own jokes.
No, you said it. You did this.
Yeah, I did this. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say.
You didn't push us like Will. Like, let's be honest. Will's the one that pushed us off the cliff, but it was Steve who put us right on the edge of it.
Yeah, I do.
And
That's
said,
where.
Look over there, so that we can come up and just help us right over there. Look, a blimp, and then you fall. It's that easy.
So, and also,
I'm totally.
You could just go really on the nose and call yourself something like the Zeppelin Recollective. Or which sounds like you are hosting a podcast about Led Zeppelin, so maybe.
I was saying the Zeppelin Recollective is absolutely like a Zeppelin tribute band.
Yeah,
like they play at your local, casual dining restaurant on Friday nights, and they do mostly Zeppelin covers, but they will take requests from the crowd. And are there any ladies in here?
Tragic.
Also,
I do like the name trend with the Recollective, but having like a word before it.
And I like the word Nimbus a lot because I like the word like cloud or sky, and especially with the idea of being in a blimp. You could also use synonyms for Nimbus. I'm just looking at some of them now, but of course, or for cloud, like fog. So you could be like the foggy recollective, which is kind of a fun, almost appropriate for what Candela Obscura would be in universe. Steam recollective, vapor recollective. Veil Recollective, because clouds are
There's
also veils.
there's other cloud types too. Like you could do like the Stratus Recollective. You could do
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's some
That's
fun
And I just
clouds.
looked it
like
up.
that one.
I
And
like that,
Stratus
though.
Stratus is the Latin root of that means layer.
Ooh,
Ooh.
very
And we
nice.
are
Ooh.
yeah, so we are kind of I feel like peeling back a lot of what
Stratus
we know about
Recollective?
ourselves right now. Like there are
Onions
like it's
have
a little
layers,
meta in that there's a
mysteries
lot
have
more layers to
layers.
this story
Ooh,
that we
the
currently know
Stratus
about.
Recollective.
Look at
Yeah,
you
Stratus
bringing
yeah, I like
it
that.
in.
Stratus Recollective it is. It seems
that is it.
it's formal.
Boom.
It's nice.
Got a type of. It sounds cool, but because it is cool.
It is cool. Stratus
It is
Recollective.
cool.
The organization
And you
is
said you
entered in as-
couldn't cook. Look at that.
Look at that. You did it.
I'm just
Kelly.
bad at making decisions.
I just really tight that people learning of togetherness, i.e., plot.
You never, ever. It's plot. You never want to trust me because I'm great at making decisions. The decisions I make are not necessarily great. Thusly, blimp buddies.
But the decision making is there.
I have all of the confidence of a mediocre white man on decision making, but none of the put in the work time. Okay, so Stratus Recollective is the name of your organization.
100%.
You all get company emails. You all get things. One more thing for Nim to decide.
Oh golly.
And this one, no feedback from the group on.
I'll go.
Nim,
Mm-hmm.
there is a process for when materials obtained by the organization that could represent value of some sort are obtained in the accordance of a mission. This could be rare collectibles. This could be just accounts from villainous people and everything. You get to decide out of 3 buckets. Don't worry, I'm not just going to give you the whole concept of where that goes. Out of 3 buckets of where that goes. Goes. The options are as follows. Number 1,
Okay.
you can store those materials to be fully back into your and other chapters of said organization so that it is self-funding. Number 2, you can take all of those materials and donate them to well-vetted causes that are in the broader mission of the support of the population of Velas Station. So a lot of mutual aid programs, a lot of concern. Velas, again, technically doesn't have an unhoused population. That doesn't work on a space station,
Right.
but it does. Its version of base housing is very much like a pod hotel from so one wouldn't call that a home so much as a warm bed with energy and everything, better than the streets, but many people don't actually find it better than the streets and have chosen not to engage in that aspect of it. And so there are still needs for community outreach, healthcare services, because of course healthcare is not free, and everything, debt reconciliation, all those sorts of kind of genuinely aidful programs. Or you can put this into organizational principles for influencing the power structures within Velas. So this would be like, in order to get someone that is either adjacently aware or directly technically part of or formally part of the organization within positions of power within Velas, so that they can move within different organizations more functionally. So this is usually government, but sometimes can be the nature of funding encouragements for setting up long-term plans of encouraging peoples to get consumed by mega corporations and then move within the ranks and act as like internal agents. You can choose to give all of it to any of those, or you can choose to split it between 2 of them, but you cannot split it between 3. So it's either for your own personal needs, for the needs of the general community, or to further the like front-facing influence, or but simultaneously front-facing influence or direct power, I should say, that the organization would have within the infrastructures of power. Those are your buckets. What do you think Nim would be most likely to choose out of that?
Yes, I'm trying to see this from Nim's perspective and not necessarily my own.
What would Nim decide is the most important? Again, you can pick two and split it evenly. But the consequence of this is actually pretty high. But not in a danger way. It just changes some pieces on my board.
Yeah. I think
Kelly,
from
we're gonna
Nim's
go to
perspective, she would focus on the first two.
First two. So your own chapter needs for the Stratus Recollective. Yes?
The Stratus Recollective.
Stratus Recollective.
Stratus Recollective.
Put it on a t-shirt, make the merch.
What a weird
Stitch
merch
out on
to
pillow.
have. I think instead it should just be a deeply like a smiling but deeply sad picture of Tery saying okay is more of a merch shirt.
I'm gonna commission Julia to make a logo for us.
Just to let you know, I am
Yeah,
commissioning Julia for some sketch work for some
Ooh.
locations on Velis Station. So soon we'll have like
Hell yes.
Velis Station kind of art, because I saw that they did like a ship, and so it'll be kind of like, it'll be mostly like line art sketch work, but I'm gonna do a few locations. And
just
get
for
a
that
quote.
concept.
Having commissioned Julia in the past, it worked out splendidly. So I'm very happy to do that. Yeah. So the first two, so supportive chapter and support and like a supportive community, not as much the third bucket, which is the kind of power broker side.
Coming from Nim's perspective, like before all of this, she lived a very run-of-the-mill life. So I think she would focus more on like, real people, the average everyday people, like what I actively am / was.
It's a very practical way of looking at it.
It's where her brain would go.
Yeah, it's a very practical. It's like, we need supplies because we probably shouldn't just depend on the bank of Tery. So we need to keep operating if we're going to operate.
The best intern we can have is Mark.
Kilo used all our smoke bombs.
Okay.
Again.
A second. So speaking of Kilo, we are going to cut to the waste facilities. Kilo, with Tery in tow,
oh boy,
is going to punch in for work.
it's
Kilo,
like take your kid to work day.
Kilo, do you swing by your place beforehand, or do you just go straight to the job? You have time.
Oh no, I swing by my place because I gotta get some new coveralls on. I've been wearing these for a bit. We've been kind of going nonstop. We haven't really stopped to clean up or anything like that. So
can you give me a like a couple key point descriptions of Kilo's place?
Sure.
What kind of place does Kilo live in?
I think he currently lives in for a studio apartment. That's just like a reasonably sized studio apartment, which is unreasonable because they're pretty small.
That's all I want to live in.
Maybe not. Maybe not. No, maybe not a studio apartment because he has to have.
Does he still live?
It's not a studio apartment.
Does he still live in the place?
No.
Okay, he's moved since then.
He does not. That was part of some, like, just for his own sanity.
Yeah.
Had to be able to have a clean slate in front of him to see all of the details, and that included his own surroundings, because he'd already turned every pillow, every floorboard, everything in that apartment, tore it apart, in his home, tore it apart, and there was just nothing left there for him. So he absolutely did move. So maybe I will change it. I think he lives in a 2 Oh gosh, now I'm gonna make myself sad.
It's gonna hurt.
I think he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. He is in the one, but he wants to make sure he has another room ready just in case he finds his daughter. Because obviously he would want, his partner to be in one room with him and to have the other room at the ready. So he's always ready to welcome them back in with open arms. It is a pretty stark, practical space.
Is it deliberate at all, or is it deliberate at all in any kind of aesthetic, or is it just utilitarian?
Utilitarian, 1000%.
So very
everything has a purpose. Yes, there's nothing unnecessary here because that's just more in the way of him seeing all of the details. There's nothing to distract here. There's not like he doesn't play video games, he doesn't watch movies, and in this time if we're still watching movies, I imagine. Are we still watching movies in this time? Yes.
There absolutely is. Yep.
So like he has no collection of media or anything like that, even if it's virtual. He his bed is like crisply made every morning. It's almost like he went back to basic training.
Yeah.
Like in the lapse of
Reverted.
not knowing what was happening, he went back to what he knew. So everything has its place. The sink is spotless. There's nothing in it. He has lots of food that will last for a very long time because that's efficient. He can buy one thing and it's there forever and it's fine. He has. Do you want me to tell you everything?
No. But I do have one last
There's
question.
one thing.
Oh, give me one special thing, and then I have a question.
The one special thing?
Yeah, or a
It's
thing that you want to bring up specifically. That you want to make sure that we know.
It's a little bit of a spoiler, but why not? This is, Yeah. What episode are we on?
11.
11 might as well. Wow. In his room, there is he has a somewhat sizable closet, but in the closet is not clothing. In the closet is a small, modest altar, dedicated to the voice of the chorus.
Interesting.
Something that
are done.
Probably stays hidden from the now prying eyes of Tery, who did not ask if he could come in.
The closet stays closed.
Just followed right in.
My only question is,
to his best friend's
does Kilo have any in the main living space, which I imagine is very like apartment, one big room, kitchen, dining area, living room, open concept. In the main living space, are there any pictures of Kilo's family?
Yes.
So how does Kilo react when they see Tery immediately examine the pictures of Kilo's family? Tery doesn't say anything, but is like obviously like looks at them.
I think to a person who has lost pretty much everything they held dear in this very functional, practical space, there are a few things that he does treasure, and the photos of his family are one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Kilo doesn't say anything when Tery examines the photos more closely. But if you were to look at his body language, his whole muscular structure tenses as if he's afraid. And like he knows he logically knows that Tery
Yeah.
means no harm. But there is something instinctual in that if Tery makes one wrong move,
Yeah.
and he knows Tery won't, but if Tery makes one wrong move, if Tery picks up that picture a little too nonchalantly, he is ready to grab it out of his hands. Like, just laser focus on how Tery chooses to interact with what he sees.
Is Kilo actively aware of this in a way where they would try to keep calm and hide this kind of energy from Tery while it's happening? Or is this more of a subconscious thing? Okay.
This is more of a subconscious thing because truly, I don't think he has had anyone in here in years.
Mm-hmm. And
so it's not he has no well-practiced defense mechanisms or, ways to veil how he feels in this space because he's not used to bringing anyone into this space.
Nobody usually gets past the moat in order to see what's actually going on.
Just to let you all know, I am rolling certain things for Tery to guide Tery's behavior here.
Okay.
Tery looks and
the level of Tery's
doesn't even pick up like a photo, doesn't like pick up a piece yet. It goes to look and then kind of like lightly looks like they're about to touch it, and then like looks at Kilo with the plastered on resting pleasant face that Tery exists with in regular life. That you can just see from beyond the scarf and the glasses and the fedora that they are hiding because they are a celebrity and they don't want people to recognize them. And Tery looks at that, smiles. The smile shifts a little bit, almost imperceptibly. But as you spend more time actually looking at Tery, you begin to suspect that maybe you'll be better at reading what minimized range of emotions Tery lets out when they're not in shock.
Well, with all the Botox, it's really hard to tell sometimes.
It's so hard. There's
it's a very frozen face.
The ship of Theseus that is Tery, and they immediately start glancing around at the rest of the place, and Tery's like, "Oh, what a nice home you have here. I also don't like a lot of stuff. And at first I was surprised at how little you had, but then I remembered that you're so young. In a few hundred years, I'm sure you'll have so many more keepsakes and memories." Yes. And then in a brief...
Larry, you can...
Yeah?
It's all right. I know what it is.
And in a brief moment of a 6 on a stat that they had to roll disadvantage of, so I guess 2 6s, I should say.
Oh, wow.
Tery goes, after Alexander, I think that should be the thing. It's only been a couple days. And then shifts right back into Tery and goes around and it's like, "What is this?" And goes to your sink and is like there, and they like begin opening your cupboards and like looking at your dishware and everything like that.
I don't have snacks, Tery.
They open up a cupboard where you have long
milk for Tery.
Tery pulls out their Tery pulls out their flip phone. Number 1, this is the future. "Oh, that's because you get the normal milk. Hold on." And within a minute and a half, an alert comes in. An alert comes in of I'm going to call it Forever Milk. I think that's a fun name for it. Forever Milk appears. So it's liquid, and it is, and
it will never dry.
And it says Forever Milk on it, and then in very tiny font, it says the word product underneath the word milk. and
It's
everything.
the same animal as Astro Spam.
Yeah, and Forever
Same
Milk.
company.
We did not think about
Forever
that.
Milk, a different or same company. Same company. Only 5 companies own all of the food here, just like in the real world. All of the food here. But and Tery just moves away from that very uncomfortable and very intense moment after briefly giving you an acknowledgement when I rolled a 5 on read and a double 6s on because I really wanted Tery to be bad at this. I were double 6s on focus. Or not focus for Tery. What were the double 6s on? Sense. Double 6s on sense, and then another 5 on sway. So I'm like, no, those are too good of rolls. Tery's gonna actually be
You
genuine.
can't ignore it. It's meant to be.
And everything, and 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 they see the 2 bedrooms, and they just casually say, "Oh, you also like to alternate which bedroom you sleep in. That makes sense." And just kind of go back to just looking at your stuff that is not precious to you, that is just what your home is like. The like trash.
It's all the most neutral tones.
Yeah, it's so millennial gray in there.
It's so basic. It's so. It's like just what you would see out of a I don't know, like a dorm room. Just like all the basic furniture that is there.
The following
It's
journey
pretty much
from
studio, like it's been studioed and staged the entire time.
Yep.
The following journey from your house to your job involves Tery asking you a series of increasingly confused, like baffling questions, not questions that are hard to understand on their surface, but questions that are hard to understand why anyone would think that that's how garbage collection works. Like, do you have to climb into the dumpsters and then like take it out piece by piece and sort through it there, or do they have different uniforms for different, like, are you like a diamond ranked garbage collector or a platinum ranked garbage collector?
I mean, I'm good at my job.
I mean, of course you are. Of course, you're the best.
Yeah.
You're the best at you, and you have those extra hands.
We are best friends.
From
yes, I do.
Tery almost cries the moment Kilo says we are best friends, but keeps it together and everything. There's just a moment of hitch.
Tear duct still works.
And as you enter to go to clock in, there's no protocol at a waste management facility for like bring someone with you to work. There's not a rule that dogs can't play basketball, right? Like where it's like, why would this have come up kind of thing. There's not a rule that a huge influencer can't just, especially because they're not filming. And so all that Tery asks is like, oh, can I get a jumpsuit?
Love that.
I mean, I don't know if we. I mean, it won't have your name on it. But I mean, we might have an extra one lying around if you would like to wear one.
I would love to wear one. I am a man of the people, and if I'm going to go garbage collecting, I'm going to wear the outfit of garbage collecting. Yeah. They also keep calling it garbage collecting, which is a weird way of phrasing an accurate statement.
I mean, it is. I mean, that's what it is.
As you're yeah. So you're able to find a thing that fits Tery.
Just one extra.
There's plenty of extra. You're able to find one for Tery. Not plenty of extra for Kilo. You're too big. But Tery is exactly just above average height, so that they're just a little bit taller than average. In my headcanon. I don't know if that's true from Julia's position. But and just as you're about to head out, Yancey comes in.
Oh boy.
Hey, Kilo.
Hey, Yancey. This is my friend Tery. You might know him.
Yancey.
Maybe.
Yancey freezes. You have just introduced an older Gen Z kid to the Mr. Beast of the modern era as your friend Tery. Yancey freezes.
Yeah.
Do you Tery just kind of nods and
Yancey,
smiles?
it's all right.
Yancey's
Tery's
like,
very nice.
It's
okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, Yancey, it's all right. Words. You can do it.
And Tery just
Tery,
pulls out.
Give them your autograph.
Yeah, Tery just pulls out on them a little photograph of themselves and then signs it.
It's already signed.
Or no, already signed. You're right. It would be pre-signed.
It's already pre-signed.
And looks at the back of it and it's like, oh, here you go. This is from my. This is from my. This is from my shoot I did for my sneaker sponsorship. This is one of 1.2 million. This one is number 700,341. Here you go, Yancey, and everything. And Yancey just takes it and then like is lightly shaking and then just squeaks out, I've got to go to the bathroom. And just leaves
right,
to go to the
Yancey,
bathroom.
Go ahead. All right. I think they like you, Tery.
In the faint distance, you hear a high-pitched screech.
Yeah. Just from the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
The bathroom's the right.
We must remember, Yancey, though they look old because they are a hairless Sphinx cat alien.
Yancey is baby.
Yancey is like 19. Yancey is not quite out of the age yet where they lose their ever-loving shit about things, and they are having an absolute, overwhelming, joyful in the long run, and then also embarrassing, and they'll have feelings about it. A meltdown in the bathroom. But Kilo, you've got work to do. I'm gonna have you roll me something, Kelly, but I'm actually gonna shift over to Eddie, and I just need you to give me the result of the D6 roll.
All right.
Consequences, medium. So if you already a 5. I was gonna give you a drive option, but a 5's a solid roll.
I didn't know. You told me to roll.
You're doing
Sorry, my fault.
No, it's okay, but 5 is good.
5 is good. 5 is fine. 6 would have been slightly better. So if you want a better drive to try and get a 6, but 5 is fine.
I'm okay. You said consequences are
medium.
Medium. Do I feel good with a 5 on a medium? That's pretty good, right?
5's on a medium.
Abby, I don't know if you could tell. I'm looking at you. I'm looking for affirmation from you. That's pretty good, right? Right, Abby?
You're good.
It is the second item.
I was like, oh, this is normal anxiety. Oh, it's anxiety you want me to fix. Okay,
it's direct. Fix it.
Okay. It sounds like 5 is comfy.
I feel good. I feel good.
6 is always best, but 5 is real comfy. 5 is real comfy.
Eddie?
I'm being honest, but
right, we're gonna
stick with the vibe.
Good.
Eddie,
5's comfy.
You have you have a couple things going on.
Yes.
You've got a friend that you need to help out, that you need to investigate for their significant other to get them off the station under a fake ID. You have a mysterious person messaging you. You have a job that you've been contracted for that you're confident they will send you further details as they have them, but you know that that's going to come up. And you also have realized that Tommy Two Shoes doesn't remember anything that happened with you, probably. So you also, have the work that Tommy Two Shoes asked you to do. Potentially, which you don't even know if Tommy Two Shoes remembers that they offered you that job, because you're not 100% sure how far back the wipe goes. And so what does Eddie do?
So I think Eddie is going. So Eddie's got the idea that whoever these people are that he's working for now, they have some pretty deep informational pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Who would Eddie go to talk to about having the organization help my ex's new guy get off the station?
Give me a die roll about it. You've got 3 options. There's a low option, a medium option, and a high option. I think if you think about it, you probably know which of the 3 organization members. Actually, there's a 4th wild card option that I might choose depending on the number.
Okay. Let me. I guess that would be a focus roll, probably.
Yeah. You can do it as a focus roll. Yeah, analyze. Yeah, thinking about it.
And remember, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't doing anything.
Nope.
I was thinking about it.
What did you get? A 1.
Eddie doesn't remember shit.
For a while, you think about it. You're trying to remember like who you've talked to. You forget that Philandry's in the chat, and you could probably just DM Philandry, and Philandry could tell you a good person to do it or do it themselves. Maybe. Graham hasn't really shown you anything other than like organizational stuff, so you're not really sure about that. And so I think with a 1, there's one person that you know has a skill set that you do not understand or have a complete idea, but they did try to just take money from people, and that feels like the vibe of the kind of people that either do or do not know things. So, Eddie, the only person that you can think of that might know how to do this, because certainly Mark the intern, which would have been what you would have had to do if you got a 2. Mark the intern couldn't possibly, because he's an intern at his age and he seems incapable. You're like, maybe Milo knows what's up? So, do you want to hit up Milo?
Yeah, I'll go check in with
money and does spine surgery while high.
Go find that gremlin and get their help.
You ask around, and weirdly, everyone seems to know who you're talking about when you just say Milo, even though that name is very fresh.
Yellow.
Looks like a melted minion. So you ask around. You ask Graham, of course, and some of the people at Quasi Quasars, which obviously they've been hanging out at, where Milo might be found. And you find Milo at a local laundromat, which is suspiciously dated. Like, you'd think in the future they just sonically clean clothes, and that is true for nicer equipment. But the good old fashioned put clothes in thing that spins them and distresses them to get the dirt off with with liquids is still there.
I was gonna say it seems like that would be not the wisest use of water on a space station that where that's a very limited resource.
There is a common turn of phrase on Velis called the wet smell. And the wet smell isn't that you're wet. No. It's that you wash your clothes with water appointed for this purpose. Because you are correct that drinking water, potable water, should not be used in that fashion, or water that might be potable. But no one should be drinking out of a washing machine or out of a clothes washing machine.
Right.
When it's on. And so that is filtered and filtered and filtered again. And it has a type of scent to it, which I will let you casually define whenever you want to. But it's very much an elitist thing to say about clothing. For the most part, the broad majority of the population doesn't notice the smell, because that's just part of what detergent, cleaned, watered clothes smell like now. And so, you can see at a local laundromat that just says lawn on it, because all of the other display projections have burnt out. And so it is kind of like a projected, almost like holographic sign, but only LAUN are left for the word laundry. And you see in the windows that Milo is sitting on top of a dryer there, propped up, reading their pad device. right across from a washing machine that's probably tumbling at a person that size, because Milo's probably only about 3 feet tall, a good portion of their actual clothing in one of these big giant washing machines.
Hey, Milo.
Hey, Agent. I'm sorry, I don't know your last name. Is it Milo?
No. It's Deckard.
Everybody's Milo.
Agent Deckard. Hi, Agent Deckard.
We are all Milo.
Hey, I'm trying to figure I need to get something done for a friend. My my ex's new guy needs to get off the station, and he's got he's got to get some papers, squared away, sort of pushed through fast.
The old fake identity. Yeah. Milo's like, well, you're doing this for your ex's new guy?
It's a long story. Basically I owe her.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, Milo can do that. And, us Deckards got to stick together. Isn't it weird that we have the same last name?
Your last name's Deckard, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. And you discover, while talking to Milo, you discovered that everyone knew who Milo was. And more importantly, when you looked up Milo on it, and if you looked him up on your little smart device, your little glasses and everything, he was listed under the name Milo. So this dude messes with, that wasn't his name, or maybe Eddie actually really doesn't, because you weren't there when that
Yeah.
like they told you the
Why
story,
would
but
Eddie
maybe
know?
it doesn't come together, and so. But you don't remember Milo having the last name Deckard when you looked him up. But nonetheless, maybe you just didn't notice or were distracted. Milo's like, yeah, I can probably.
Yeah, no, I rolled a 2 on focus. I have no idea.
Yeah. So Milo is now Milo Deckard. He took Eddie's last name. And he goes, yeah, I got you. You wanna message me his details, and I will take a look and give you a timeline. I gotta see why he needs the identity first, but you don't need to tell me that. I'll figure that out on my own.
All right.
But yeah, I can do that. It's gonna suck to move. The Quasars was in a great location, but wherever you guys pick, I'm sure it'll be fun.
We'll see where we end up. I'm not even 100% sure about it yet.
Hey, Agent Deckard.
Yeah.
You partake. Obviously, you gave me something, but you partake in substances, right?
Eddie's gonna look around, make sure, see if anybody's looking. Just that typical junkie paranoia kind of thing. I mean, yeah, but why? Do I need to take a drug test to be here or something?
No. Only Mark would pass it.
Such Mark hate.
Yeah, Mark with his X tattoos because he's straight edge, but he has to announce it. So it's not just
Mark.
a choice where it's fine and a totally valid choice to just not partake. He has to be about that life.
No, it's. Hey, Steve! I joined this game to have a good time, not to have my adolescence criticized. Okay,
mine too. Oh, young conservative Steve. Anyway, Milo's like, I'm throwing a little bit of a get together, and I suppose since we're going to be working together, I should get to know some of y'all a little bit better. But I don't know if everyone else is really going to be about the activities that go on at these things. So, you know, if you're interested, in the next or a couple days from now, a couple nights from now, gonna be a little hang, a little soiree at old Milo's house, and I won't mind it
Soiree.
if
Just
Soiree
Mila's
you
with
swing
saying they're
by.
gonna have a soiree. Is just
Yeah, the
everything to
fact
me.
that Milo knows the word soiree hurts
Soiree.
me.
So sorry. What was the end of that sentence?
Wouldn't mind it if you wanted to swing by, Eddie, if you were interested. There'll be, to use the language of our grandparents, some party favors, of course.
I mean, yeah. If I'm not on official business or anything like that, yeah, I could swing by.
All right. I'll give you I'll give you my address, and that'll be and that'll be good. And I'll also get this done for you as quick as possible.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
hey,
hand over the info.
yeah. So he gets the info. He has that open up in a tab. And he goes, "Hey, by the way, Eddie." And Milo kind of squints at you. Give me a read check
Read check.
on Milo.
What's a 5?
Now that you're at apparently now we're called. I know it's Stratus
Recollective.
The Stratus Recollective.
Recollective. Stratus. Apparently we're called the Stratus Recollective now. Well, now that you're part of the Stratus Recollective.
Wait, I thought it was just like the organization.
Yeah, every chapter has a name. It looks like Agent Deplume, or it looks like Agent Deplume. You have to enter in a name to like access the system and properly like structure all of your permissions and special like digital tool kits and things. So apparently Agent Deplume named you the Stratus, named us, I guess, the Stratus Recollective.
Okay.
Now that you're part with the Recollective, take care of yourself. And when he says take care of yourself, when he's squinting at you, you feel like you know that the organization had files on you. And Milo came off very much as sort of like a casual door guy, sort of flunky.
Yeah.
And it doesn't appear like Mark has like really thoroughly read your files, though you don't know. It's hard to get a beat on a guy like Mark on what he is or isn't interested in. But you could assume Graham did. But Milo is kind of a surprise, a little bit. He goes, "Take care of yourself. Maybe maybe eat a little bit more ginger, garlic, capsaicin, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil regularly."
Okay.
Spice up your life.
Like, you can get it in food. You can just get it in pill form if you prefer it that way. But I would do that regularly. Like at least one meal that's heavy in it each day, or a supplement that is relative to that.
Sorry, that was garlic, ginger, capsaicin, and what?
Capsaicin and
Olive
oil.
Luckily for you, you are not lizard-like, like like two of our friends who cannot enjoy capsaicin for their lizard-like living. Well, maybe they do. They're aliens, but in
I
general.
do whatever I want.
You don't know we like.
I'm just saying.
You can't.
I'm saying
can't
there's
stop
a
me.
higher chance. There's a higher chance that you're just like cilantro. That you're just not going to have any effects of the capsaicin if you're lizardy.
And he's saying this. There's like there's sort of like some kind of like an ominousness to it, or it's
benefits.
It's more of a care thing. but like a professional care.
Okay.
Like
a doctor saying eat more fiber or something.
Yeah, kind of in that space.
All right.
No pity though. That's the key. That's the deal. You got a 5, so you don't. Other people that tell you to take care of yourself are judging you for your lifestyle.
Right.
He's telling you instructions.
Okay.
To take care of yourself. And not terrible ones. Like, it's easy to get those things and eat them.
Sure.
And eat them or get them in pill form. And then Milo just dives into the proper work of facsimiling this ID, first trying to figure out where he's going. Where does Eddie go to next before we cut over to Izzy?
Eddie's gonna go check in with Tommy next.
So you go to the same place you were at last night, because why would Tommy have moved locations or anything like that? So old, kind of hollowed out, no longer used, kind of food storage warehouse. No, no one's at the door. No one's at the door, but you can see the security cams and everything like that, and so you know that somebody's watching at the entry door, but nobody's physically posted up there. Physically posted up there, and everything, but the door is unlocked. You suspect it might have been unlocked as you were approaching, but
and just sort of, I'm gonna open the door. Anybody in there?
You open the door, and in the main warehouse is something you've never seen before. There is the kind of large hench that kind of follows Tommy around, his like main body man / security.
Sure.
And everything. And he's got a bucket of... I need us to stay on point here, because I need to get through this scene without people breaking. He's got a big bucket of lubricant. So he's got a big bucket of lubricant that is spread over a long piece of what looks like Visqueen style plastic that has been posted on 4x8 sheets of construction material, slowly increasing up like a long, slightly inclined slip and slide. And Tommy Two Shoes, who you have never seen outside of a suit, bad suits, but suits nonetheless,
right,
is wearing just polka dot swim trunks and like the sock garters with black socks, and is covered in this lube, and just waves at you and goes, "Hey Eddie, we're playing slip and slide. You want to join?" And that's where we're gonna cut from Eddie. I'm just gonna let Will have that in his head for the whole week.
No, honestly, Eddie's first reaction is like, he dipped into his own stash. Absolutely.
I need everyone to know that Tommy Two Shoes is, of course, based off of just like Mookie Italian Mob. So that man is hirsute from the neck down. That is a hairy boy.
Somewhere between Robin Williams and Sasquatch.
Finally, Izzy. We finally get to Izzy. Izzy, describe the energy that is happening at your house as you have arrived to it, and your various siblings. And feel free to give the audience all of your siblings' names.
Oh. Well, first, Izzy did bring a butt ton of pizza, because it's kind of like a Cheaper by the Dozen's house. Very sitcom-y, wild.
Wow. Very, 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 very.
Like Home Alone-y kind of thing.
Yeah, very, very in our modern view, it's like, man, the middle class used to be wealthy, kind of energy. But like for Izzy's family, a perfectly affordable, just lots of kids house. Um, uh, and so that's the home. But yeah, give us a list of those sibling names.
Trying to introduce you to the good enough family. You remember little brother Wuzzy?
Of course.
There's I am a good enough.
Yeah.
My little sister. There's the twins, Justy and Tubi.
Yeah.
Justy good enough, Tubi good enough. There's Lizzie good enough, who is the youngest, but she's like a little me. And Sam.
Sam. Is Sam blood relative or adopted?
He may have not been another egg from another class.
Uh, pick one of these good enoughs because I'm not going to NPC out that many good enoughs. Um, uh, 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 Pick one of these good enoughs that like there's the interactions, the social interactions of all of your siblings. High energy, but not like I wouldn't unless you describe it. I don't perceive it as like full madhouse chaos. More just busy family home kind of energy.
Yep.
So yeah, which sibling do you pick of your siblings that I will then embody?
Well, you already embodied Wuzzy, so let's do Wuzzy.
What's Wuzzy's, because they're yours, what's Wuzzy's main absolute focus in life? What is their current hyperfixation? Because everyone other than Ima definitely has ADHD in this family. But
Wuzzy would probably be, let's see, let me just think of something.
whatever you pick is going to be Wuzzy's like main identity right now, at least.
Fashion.
And how old is Wuzzy?
Too young to babysit, but old enough to be in charge. It's like that kind of age, and
that middle school age kind of age where it's like amorphously 11 to 13.
Like, you were legal back in the day to babysit, but not anymore.
Yeah, in a modern day. Yeah. You all add up to 21, so the oldest one of you is in charge. So Wuzzy is taken over the big, massive dining room table with various seaming and sewing apparatus and books and printers and fabricators. It is a full clothier studio in here. As Wuzzy looks up and goes, Izzy, hat, second one, top, second one from the top. Put it on and come here.
Okay.
Hat, and you put on this kind of right now little bit too small for you hat, kind of oddly shaped and everything like that. And when you come on over, they're not short or anything like that, but to get a better angle on it, they just stand up on top of the tabletop so that they're hovering above your head. Well, they've got different pins and stuff that they're doing it, and they're like, all right, so what dessert are you gonna make everyone?
I guess I'll go with the classic plum pudding.
Plum pudding, fantastic. You keep it out of this area. I need this area, not unless it's that's already plum. You can spill it on that. If you keep it out of this area, like the last time.
So I'm guessing you don't want any.
And they go, of course I want some. Thank you for making plum pudding. I appreciate it very much. Anyway, and they're pretty deft with the needlework and everything, so you don't get like stuck or anything. There
Oh,
is
Izzy totally trusts them.
yeah. They're actually pretty dexterous with their finger. Most of Izzy's
The
family,
good enough family is known for our moves, whether it be
is
feet
very
or
much in
hands.
their body, whether it is detail, dance, a dance, athleticism of any kind. It seems to be a trait, but while they're doing this, they're like, "Oh, Ima said that there was some uh, uh, mail for you. I think that Ima originally put it on the kitchen counter, but then Lizzie got a hold of it for a while, so it's a little moist at this point and kind of screwed up. But I think
Ew.
it's still readable. I think it's probably by Lizzie's toy chest in the family room. If you're looking for it. Also, I've been getting these calls from your former roommate who keeps like acting like it's super urgent, but I think it's just that they want you to do
It's
that
he wants me to do aquapool again. I don't
aquapool.
like
Yeah.
aquapool.
Yeah. I keep telling him that you're busy, not available, that I'll talk to you about it. It's weird for an adult to ask like a 12-year-old to like put in a good word for them. I don't like that very much, but like I don't have the time to do it. Okay, this is perfect. And then they've moved on from hat. They've moved on to hat or move the hat off your head, and they just kind of start drape pinning something to the back line of your shoulders, and they're like sleeveless or sleeveless, short sleeves or long sleeves or
Gotta show off
3/4
the
sleeves.
guns, bro. Sleeveless.
It's always sleeveless. I
It's
could
always
you
sleeveless.
if you could, you'd only own tunics and jerseys. And
There's room to breathe everywhere, and there's
yeah.
room for the tail.
There is room for the tail. That is always a challenge with design. Although some
Oh,
people,
speaking of designly challenged, I met somebody with the worst fashion sense.
oh, tell me about it. Were they wearing what was wrong? What was wrong?
I forgot what Tommy Two Shoes was, but like just Izzy and Care just describes everything Tommy Two Shoes was wearing.
Wuzzy looks like they're going to be physically ill.
The
As
suit,
you
whack.
described
The
this.
shoes, whack. The
Because
fit, whack.
Whack.
because Izzy, like I said, Izzy is, if you haven't realized, it's all about. He is so in line with all of his siblings. Like, you want to do that? I support you for 100%. I am in what you're into because you're into it,
Mm-hmm.
and I will learn from that. That's where Izzy gets all of his fashion sense to dog on Tommy Two Shoes.
Yeah. Wuzzy's going like. It's not like it's hard. There's social media. You can find out what to wear based off of
I
your
know,
color
right?
palettes and your skin textures and your overall build. It'd be one thing if
He
it
is
was
definitely
dated.
not a square suit guy. Like, just,
It'd be one thing if it was dated, because then if it was dated, you'd just be like, well, we can't judge on that. Not everyone has the ability to either make their own new things or afford new things. That's fine, right? We don't judge. But if it's just doesn't make any and
it like he just power bombed himself into a rack of clothing. Like, just and whatever stuck, he wore.
and they're like, okay, well, I have to get to work on this and this and this for my portfolio. If you could be so kind as to do or to let me like get my attention when the dessert is ready, I'd very much appreciate that. And now I would appreciate distance so that I can work. And they kind of gesture at all of their stuff because, like all young people, maybe almost a little juvenile for this one or for Wuzzy, they never lost the sort of exuberant kind of almost a flamboyant flair that children have a lot of the time, just
Yes.
naturally,
That
where
we
they're just
all wish
like
we still had.
where they're just like this unapologetically. Wuzzy didn't ever get rid of that part of them. No masking for Wuzzy.
Before the
Only
yeah.
you
true.
need dinner. So I give him his whole piece that he wanted.
Be more like Wuzzy.
Um,
Was he good enough? He was
As you
actually.
Not even a question.
move into the kitchen, you do actually find that Ima probably found the mail again, tried to damp it off with a cloth and kind of place it on there. Mail in this physical mail in Velis is a rare thing when it's not a package or a good of some kind, but not so rare that it's unheard of. It's more like someone might get, like a person might get from organizations maybe 3 to 5 pieces of physical mail a day, or a day, a year. And another person, unless they, want to be retro and write each other postcards. But, the same drones that deliver packages can easily deliver mail. So it's not like it's any really different process for them. And everything. And there is an envelope sealed that has been dampened, and the envelope is addressed to your parents. But it is addressed to your parents, but it also, at the top of it, says, has handwritten instead of like the printed, like envelope address head. It has handwritten, attention, Izzy good enough?
It better be nice, Steve. Better be a nice envelope full of nice things. You leave this
It's
family
probably
alone.
not.
You
The fact
leave
that it's
this family
dampened,
alone.
the fact that it's damp and Izzy hates moisture like that.
So,
Like, ugh.
do you open the envelope?
Well, mom and dad are indisclosed in some form or fashion that we haven't thought about yet. So
Steve is after all of our families.
I'm
That's what
opening it.
I. He
You
says a family unit, never.
You see
Happiness where?
You see a note.
I'm third in command here.
Yeah, you see a note. The paperwork you see is a collections notice. That under the collections notice is a second notice and a third notice. It's a record of them
No.
dating back for about a year.
Hmm.
In these notices, you are, in a place this large, definitely paying to be here. Your family, it appears, has been a little bit lacking on actually paying the bills. You have not heard any wind of this. There has never been a discussion around this. Your parents, as far as you know, Izzy, are normal, doing their jobs, talking about their work days. But it's the note that is addressed specifically to you. And they're like, is he good enough as the secondary emergency contact for both of your parents, as well as the um, uh, 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 by both station order regulation, as our laws of regulation, and by order of statement legally from your parents, are the uh, basically attorney of record, or owner of the attorney of record for your family's estate, or owner of record, beside your parents. We are contacting you directly to try and get communication back. Now, we've been unable to contact your family for the last year. You are deeply, deeply past paying any of your lease payments for this home. We have been forced to take legal action. If you do not resolve this within the next 30 days, we will be forced to repossess your domicile and to recoup losses, obtain as much as possible of your personal property in order to auction it off for your family. This only applies to your family members that are minors living on the property, and yourself as the secondary legal contact, and your parents. However, we did get a flag on this from an employee from an employee in our data entry center, and they put in a comment. The 30 days time frame still stands. Based off of our review, analysis, and research, your family does not have the funds to pay for this. But you may have the ability to earn this income. And you see the name of the employee that flagged it. And you see the name, or you see his comments. And you see the sport that you have done everything to get away from.
Yeah.
And they're like, our VP of finances would like to have a personal discussion with you if this is an option. Izzy, in 30 days, your family's going to lose their home. But
No way.
you know that their sports betting on Velas is out of control. And you know that you simply agreeing to return for one series could potentially net somebody who smartly bet and knew that you were coming back in advance
I knew
enough
it was gonna
money.
come back to bite me in the tuchus.
And with that,
Oof.
and Izzy looking at the sport they've run away from, which apparently running is the wrong word, like the sport they've resisted, the destiny they've resisted. Finding out that his parents have been hiding things from him. Kilo and Tery collecting trash on the route. Eddie watching a mostly naked man in sock garters and a polka dot bathing suit slip and slide on a lubricated makeshift Vis Queen slip and slide. And Nim,
which is crazy,
finishing up the paperwork and already seeing Grem and Mark beginning to pack up Quasi Quasars. Quasi Quasars. The only last bit that you see, with all of you not at Quasi Quasars, but one person at Quasi Quasars that would be of great interest, because the last time they were there, we pan out from outside of Quasi Quasars, circling the block, several blocks.
Oh boy. Oh no.
It's weird. They're not drones and they're not delivery trucks, but they are branded corporate autopods with the logo of Talk to Me, are seemingly in dense search for an employee whose last location was blocks away from Quasi Quasars in this neighborhood. And with that, we'll end the session.
No.
Why are they so obsessed with me?
No. This is such a toxic
You speak
relationship.
all the languages.
Leave her alone. I'm gonna have to eat these people.
You are.
I'm gonna have to eat these people.
You're going to have to eat them. But
The only way to get rid of them.
that's it for the Cookie
That is the most
Cosmonauts.
Hannibal Lecter thing I've ever heard you say.
Listen, his name? Kilo's basically a crocodile. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Just unlatch your jaw like a snake and just
yeah.
It's just, I imagine that Kilo only eats in the fashion of the dead crocodile statue at the end of Hook, where there'll be someone standing there, and then Kilo just like full lever tilts with mouth open, and then just swallows them whole. Swallows them whole for the
Kilo just
demise
doesn't
of Hook.
chew. Period.
Truly an iconic film. All right, let's go down. Let's go through the rows. Giggle Girl Productions. Where can people find you?
Don't tell them. Talk to me is looking. Don't tell them where they can find you.
And Giggle Girl Productions. You can find me mainly on TikTok. I've got no secrets on TikTok. It's fine. That's where you can mainly find me.
Glitch, where can people find you?
You can find me at That Son of a Glitch on multiple platforms, and links will lead you to other places.
Indeed, they will. Depending on how thorough you are, interesting places. Will, where can people find you?
Nothing. Yeah, find
you can find me. Basically, you can find me at all of my links. Linktree/Radio Free Will.
Yep.
Linktree.ee/Radio Free Will. That'll get you my start playing page. That'll get you my Twitch channel. That'll get you my TikTok channel. That'll get you everything you need from me.
Indeed. And Kelly, where can people find you?
All right, before we get to that, you listen here, talk to me. I've got a very specific set of skills. I will find you, and I will kill you. But me, I'm Kelly, the Kellhop. You can find me in places on the internet. Leave Nim de Plume alone. You can find me here. You can find me over at the Heart is a Dungeon. You can find me in the audio drama Error Through and 3. Leave Nim de Plume out of this.
This is starting to get to like mid 2000s. Leave Britney Spears alone.
Leave her alone. You've watched her pee enough. Leave her alone.
And with that, you can, of course, find Dying of Exposure on the internet at Dying of Exposure. You can also find me on my semi-monthly podcast. That's 2 times a month. My semi-monthly podcast, Ghost Town Video Pod or gtvpod.com. All the social links are there. We just set them all up. So I'm going to make my first post tomorrow on the social media for the thing. But you can find the pod where good pods are found. And there are, I don't know, like 8 episodes or so that you can listen to, and another one coming out this Thursday. So where we talk about movies that are too good and realize that if we watch 2 actually like thoughtful films, it's not as fun. So don't worry, I've already prescribed us in the future to watch Cats and Dogs 2: Revenge of Kitty Galore.
oh god.
Oh my god.
What? Oh, you brought back memories.
That's a movie?
I'm impressed.
That can't be a real film.
Double feature of Schindler's List.
It's a real thing.
What is it?
What? Cats and Dogs.
Cats
Revenge
and Dogs was a good movie from the get-go.
Revenge of Kitty Galore.
A sequel.
I'm not going to go too deeply into it. The sequel came out 9 years later, so you know it's good.
It's G-force material.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Oh my God.
We're also watching the movie Marmaduke. But nonetheless, so we fixed all these. We fixed all these good movies from last time. That's not what we're watching in the next. But this episode we watched Bottle Rocket and Blood Simple from Wes Anderson and the Coen Brothers directorial feature debuts, which I would argue aren't super enjoyable to watch, but we did them for very kind of film bro-y reasons, and then we're like, we got to get back to things like disaster movie. Like, we got to walk away from this.
Bad.
We need bad things. We watch them in pairs with good things, but
trash videos.
So go follow that on podcasts and social medias as you'll see it post. I'm sure I'll share some from Dying Exposure, but for now, I'm going to let my kooky cosmonauts settle into the worries that Izzy's family is going to be kicked out of their home unless Izzy
No, they will not.
bends to the will of the universe to force him to do things that the one
make some calls.
Or make some calls, maybe. We'll find out how that's solved and if you can just fight capitalism straight on with leasing and lending financial organizations. And we'll find out if Nim's going to be okay. I'm sure it's fine. They've got Graham and Mark, and Mark's going to help. Mark's going to help.
Yeah. Mark is such a big.
And Mark's the linchpin of the squad.
I can't even believe you're saying this.
I love the running gag that Izzy is the only person who likes and believes in Mark.
But until next time, bye everyone.
Bye. Bye.